Good morning students. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is different from my previous videos because the problem that I'm going to discuss today is not framed by me, just like the problems in which I discussed before this. All those problems were framed by me, but this problem is not framed by me. But still, this problem is very close to my heart. Why? Because this is one of the most beautiful problems that I have seen so far, and this problem can be solved very easily once the fundamentals are clear. And one more thing, this problem was given to me by my physics teacher when I was preparing for JEE around 20 years back. So this problem is really very close to my heart. Okay, so without any further delay, let us see what the problem says. So the problem says that in the figure there is a massless square frame ABCD of side length A, which can move freely in a gravity free space. So he's talking about this massless frame. So he's saying that this is a square massless frame of side length A, and the frame is massless and it can move freely in the gravity free space. There is no gravity anywhere. Then he's saying a particle of mass m is fixed at point A of the frame. So as you can see here, the a point mass m is fixed at this point. So this frame is nothing but this particle of mass m and these massless sides, and this frame is a square frame. Okay. Now he's saying that there is an insect of mass m which is initially at point C of the frame. So as you can see here, the insect has also mass equal to mass of this particle. So insect has mass m and it is initially at point C of the frame. Now he's saying initially frame and insect are at rest. So initially both frame as well as this insect, both of them are at rest. And then insect moves from point C to point D on the frame and stops there. So what insect does, it moves from this point C to this point D on the frame. So it starts moving from C to D. It was at rest, it will start moving from C to D and it comes to D and then it stops. So we have to find what is the final orientation of the frame. So we have to calculate the final orientation of the frame. So as insect will move from C to D. Now frame is not fixed, frame is free to move as well as free to rotate in the XY plane. So as you can see, the rightward direction is the X direction and vertically upward direction is my Y direction. So as insect will move from C to D, the frame will move and it will also change its orientation. Okay. So uh, we have to find the final orientation of the frame when insect reaches from C to D and stops there. So we have to find the final orientation. Okay. So I want all of you to pause this video and attempt this problem on your own. And I can assure you this is a very good problem, and I think it will not take more than 20 to 50 minutes. If your fundamentals are strong, then you can solve this problem in less than 15 minutes. But the problem is very beautiful, you will like it. Okay. So without any further delay, let us now discuss the solution of the problem. So as you can see in this figure, I have drawn this frame. So this is the initial position of the frame. Now as the insect moves on the frame from C to D, it applies a force on the frame, and the frame in turn applies equal and opposite force on the insect that enables the movement of the insect. So obviously initially insect was at rest. If insect has to move from C to D, he must apply some force on this frame. And then what will happen? The frame will in turn apply equal and opposite force on the insect. So frame will also move and insect will also move. So the force between frame and insect will be an internal force. So next net external force on the system, which is insect plus frame, is 0. Now because insect is applying force on the frame and frame in turn is applying force, equal and opposite force on the insect, and that force is an internal force. So net external force on the system is 0. So therefore the center of mass of the frame and insect will remain at rest in the same position. So center of mass of the insect plus frame. So center of mass, because the entire mass of the frame is concentrated at this particle only, everything else is massless. So center of mass of frame as well as insect, which is my system, is nothing but center of mass of this particle which is at A in this initial situation, and this insect, so which is at a distance A by root 2 along the line joining A and C. Alright, so because masses are equal, so center of mass will be at the midpoint of this line. Okay, and this line is making an angle 45 degree. Okay, with the horizontal direction. Now, because net external force is zero, therefore linear momentum of the system at some arbitrary instant when insect is moving on the frame will also be zero. Now, because there is no external force on the system, the movement of insect as well as the frame is taking place due to their internal forces. Therefore, the linear momentum of the entire system, which is the linear momentum of insect plus this particle, will be conserved. So it was 0 initially, it will remain 0 in the process, and finally also it will be 0. So at any arbitrary instant, the insect is moving on the frame is also moving, but the net linear momentum of insect plus frame will be 0. Why? Because net external force is 0. Now the last but the most important point is that not just linear momentum but angular momentum of the system about any fixed point, which is say center of mass in this particular case, will also be conserved, as torque of external forces about center of mass is 0, because external force is 0 on the system. Now because there is no external force on insect plus this frame system, therefore the torque of external force about center of mass will be 0. So the angular momentum of the system about center of mass will be conserved. So it was 0 initially and it will be 0 at any instant, any arbitrary instant, any intermediate instant when the while the insect is moving from C to D. Okay. So I think I have already made a video on this, that the torque of net external forces about center of mass about any arbitrary point, if it is equal to 0, then the angular momentum of the system about that point will remain conserved. Okay, internal forces cannot change the angular momentum of the system. So not just linear momentum. So there are 3 important points that I have discussed so far. First is center of mass will remain at the same position. Second thing is net linear momentum of the system, which is nothing but this insect and this frame, will be equal to 0. And not just linear momentum but angular momentum of the system about center of mass at any instant will also be equal to 0. Alright. Now at any instant the entire mass of the frame is concentrated at the particle. Now because we know that the sides of the frame are massless. Okay. So these sides are massless. So the frame, this square frame is massless except the point A here, which has the mass m here. So entire mass of the frame is concentrated at this point only. Okay. So the frame is massless. So it means that the linear and angular momentum of the particle is due to the motion of the particle only. So only the motion of this particle will basically contribute to the linear momentum and angular momentum of the entire frame. Okay. So the other parts of the frame are also moving, but because they are massless, they will not contribute to neither the linear momentum nor angular momentum. Now basically what I have done here, at any instant, suppose this is so I have not drawn my frame in this particular figure, but I have drawn this particle because entire mass of the frame is concentrated at this particle. So suppose this was the particle at some arbitrary instant, the insect is moving on the frame and this was insect. Now basically uh, now what I have done in this particular figure, I have taken 2 directions. The first direction is the radial direction. I am calling this direction radial direction, which is nothing but the line joining. So basically I am considering 2 directions here. First is line joining this particle and which is on the frame and this insect. So this is my radial direction, and the direction which is perpendicular to this radial direction is my tangential direction. So what I am doing, I am basically considering two particular directions. First is radial and second is tangential. So suppose Vr is the velocity of this particle in radial direction. Okay, so Vr is the velocity of this particle in radial direction. Now, net linear momentum of the system is conserved. So if net linear momentum of the system is conserved, it means that the linear momentum of the of this particular mass and of this insect will be equal and opposite. So if in radial direction the velocity of this particle is Vr, the velocity of the insect in radial direction at that instant will be minus Vr. So these two velocities in radial direction are equal and opposite. And same thing goes for tangential direction velocities also. So Vt's will also be equal and opposite. Okay. Why? Because net linear momentum has to be zero. So net linear momentum has to be zero in radial direction as well as in tangential direction. That is why the radial velocities and tangential velocities will be equal and opposite, as you can see in this figure. Now, not just net linear momentum, but net angular momentum of the system should also be equal to zero. So now it means that Vt should be equal to 0. Now why Vt should be equal to 0? Because if Vt is non-zero, then what will happen? There will be some, in this particular figure, there will be some net clockwise angular momentum about center of mass. So Vt should also be equal to 0. So as I have written here also, but net angular momentum of the system about COM should also be conserved, which means that tangential velocity of the insect and the particles should be 0, because non-zero tangential velocity would mean a non-zero angular momentum about center of mass. So Vt will also be equal to 0. So Vt equal to 0 means that both the particle and insect are approaching towards each other as their velocities are along the line joining them. So at any instant, tangential velocities will be equal to 0 and the velocities of the particle as well as insect will be along the line joining particle and the insect. Okay. So both of them will be approaching towards each other at any instant, and tangential velocities will be equal to 0. So both the particle as well as insect, both of them are approaching towards each other. So both of them started from this initial orientation, and as I have, so this is initial line joining both of them. So because the tangential velocities of both the particles is 0, it means that they are approaching towards each other at any instant. So it doesn't matter how frame is moving, but the insect is moving from C to D on the frame, it is actually moving along the line joining insect and this particle. And similarly, this particle, it doesn't matter how the entire frame is moving and rotating, the particle is actually moving towards this insect and towards this line. So both of them will move towards this line as observed from ground frame of reference. So this is the final orientation of the frame. So both of them will move towards each other. Initial separation between them was a root 2 and final separation will be a by 2, as you can see here. Center of mass will remain at the same position, which is at a distance a by root 2 at an angle of 45 degrees from here. So center of mass will remain here and both of them will move towards each other. So this is the final orientation of the frame. Alright, so I hope you like this video. Please keep on watching my YouTube channel for more such videos. Thank you.